Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Trading behavior is evolving faster than most platforms can adopt. Today's user expects speed, personalization, community, embedded experiences, and seamless multi-platform across all at once. In this session, we'll look at the major shifts influencing traders' expectations globally and what brokers and fintech firms need to understand to stay relevant in an increasingly competitive landscape. Join us for the conversation with Edmund Lee, Growth Manager Singapore at the Trading View, who will present the panel and the speaker.
Hi, thank you. Hi everyone, good afternoon. So I'm Edmund from Trading View. And now today I have Kenny together with me from Penguin Securities. And today we will explore where are the trends heading into real trading experiences.
Thanks Edmund for having me. So my name is Kenny. So I'm from Penguin Securities. So happy to be here at the summit.
Right, so let's start. Yep, so okay, so currently on the trading trends itself, for the traffic and user growth, starting with traffic, we see consistent growth across all regions. Global user growth about 10%, which is quite stable, followed by ASEAN about 15% and Singapore 19%. So this is particularly interesting as we can see a huge growth in Southeast Asia market, right? So Kenny, from your perspective, are you seeing similar increasing activities coming from this region as well?
Yeah, I think for the regions itself, I think this traffic analysis, I think it shows accurately what is really happening in the market right now. We have quite a growing interest in Southeast Asia, I think in Singapore as well. And I think the interesting thing is really, I think not only we see a lot of users that are coming in, more clients that are coming in, and these clients are actually quite, I would say more, they do a lot of research and they know really what they want to invest in. So not only we see that coming in, I think there are a lot of clients that are well versed and they know what they want before they will deep dive into whichever assets, classes, it might be equities, it might be bonds, it might be crypto, it might be gold. So these clients, they will do proper research before investing into all these asset classes itself.
Thank you, Kenny. Next, we'll deep dive into what kind of assets they really go into, and let's share more with you. Right, so these are the asset classes that, according to TradingView, we pull data out from global, ASEAN, and Singapore, right? So from this, what we are seeing today is that trading platforms are evolving into multi-asset ecosystem, right? For what we see is global players like Revolut, Bybit are bringing together different asset classes, from CFDs to equities to crypto and futures, right? And at TradingView, we are part of the shift early on, providing full spectrum of analytical tools across all these asset types. Yeah. So Kenny, do you see these traders increasingly moving across different asset classes on your side as well?
Yeah, for sure. I think it's really all about diversification, right? I mean in maybe 10, 20 years ago, people would just, I just want to buy equities and don't care about the rest of the asset classes, right? But like I shared just now, I think clients these days are really more savvy. They do their proper research. They know what is diversification. Whenever market moves us in terms of, let's say, Fed decisions or what we are seeing now, global tensions, right? So they will even, apart from equities, which is your norm really these days, people look at other things like, for example, commodities. We see gold, we see even like your oil prices. So for example, I think in Singapore, it's a classic example, right? People are queuing up at banks, people are queuing up at silver bullions to actually buy gold. So really, the story really is about diversification and not just focus on one asset class. It's really a diverse terms of asset classes itself. I think what it correctly pointed out, I think Forex, crypto is also really, people risk appetites are getting bigger as our clients are, getting younger these days. They are more savvy. So these are the asset classes that they want to go into as well.
Thank you. So with asset classes rising, what we see is commodities are actually increasing as well across all sectors, right? With Singapore showing one of the strongest 55% growth in commodities trading. Yeah. So, Kenny, from your experience, are you seeing more demand on commodities trading recently as well?
Yeah, I mean, for sure, like I've shared, right? Commodities is something where, you can use it as a hedging. Some people use it as a hedging tool, which is a defensive play. But right now, I think the investment climate is really changing. People are actually buying gold for speculative purposes. I mean, it's really what the trend is at the point of time, right? For example, I think these days people are talking a lot about AI, talking about technology, talking about maybe even your semiconductors itself. But I think commodity has been tried and tested. I think if you look at investment cycles itself, whenever there is movements in the market, whether there is geopolitical tensions, like what is happening with the US and Iran situation, I think commodities, you can see commodities prices spiking up, which is your gold, your oil. So I think commodity is always a play. It's a playbook in all, I think, financial institutions in terms of banks. And even at Penguin Securities, I think we have an outlook in terms of commodities itself where we continue to see it rising. So I think definitely, I think commodities is something that is here to stay itself.
Thank you. Yeah. So next we'll look at the top symbols traded in TradingView as well. So across all regions, I believe one of the similar ones that we do see are like gold, Bitcoin, right? That appear consistently at the top, right? Singapore is actually more of a diversified mix from what we see, including equities like Nvidia and XPX as well. So, Kenny, do these top symbols align with what you are seeing among your clients?
Yeah, I mean, at Penguin, we do have quite a diversified group of clients. We have your Singaporeans. I think what this slide shows is it's reflective of what we see at Penguin Securities itself. In Singapore, where we have a very savvy, very group of diverse customers, they are open up to even investing in the Bitcoin. I mean, if you talk about Bitcoin itself, maybe 20 years down the road, this would never be even possible to be at the number one kind of trading. But right now, we see an increased demand of it being the next, investment tool. Even in gold as well, which is your XAU, which is your gold. So I would say this is relatively aligned. We do have quite a fair bit in customers in the ASEAN region as well, who are actually quite well versed in terms of their investments as well. So I think it really aligns with what is showing up here in the top 10 symbols. So it doesn't really surprise me at all that the top three are your, not your equities, where Nvidia and maybe even Apple are in the top 10 itself.
Okay, thank you. So next we will be looking at the connected brokers in global as well as ASEAN. Right. So looking at broker connectivity, we see strong growth across the board. Global participation increased about 49%, while ASEAN grew about 31%. So from this, what we can see is this reflects a broker shift towards integrated trading, where users are moved seamlessly from analysis to execution within the same platform. So users actually want speed, convenience, and no switching platforms. Yeah, and that's what TradingView are able to provide. Right. So Kenny, how important is today to provide seamless trading experience from analysis to execution?
Yeah, I mean, I think for right now, I think the broker space, I think definitely we do have quite a fair bit of brokers, but I think what differentiates one from the other is really about the connectivity. I mean, like what we shared in the earlier slides, there are really many different asset classes that there are in the market, but I think what clients want is really about the user experience. I think right now, people talk about user experience, about the connectivity itself, more so than spread and pricing. Maybe you talk 10 years ago, 20 years ago, spread and pricing, we are constantly in the price war itself. But right now, I think with the connectivity, with the user experience, I think clients value that more as compared to your spread and your pricing. And with the many different classes, I think it's important to have one platform where you can see all your holdings, your positions of your asset classes in one whole portfolio view instead of logging into 5 different platforms to see 5 different class assets. So I think this is really what is important right now in the current market itself.
Okay, thank you, Kenny. So maybe we can move on to the slides of. Maybe is there any questions from the audience itself?
Yeah, maybe I think Yeah, I think it's interesting times that we live in, especially in the financial market currently. Um, Everybody is so well connected. Everybody has news, be it Bloomberg or be it CNN and whatever. So, this is the investment decision making that is important. You know, people used to go to banks or whichever to get advice from RMs and things like that. But right now, I think a lot of people do their own research in various sources. Before making their own investment decision. So, and of course, we talked about diversification on different asset classes as well. It's important to not, hedge your bets or put all your eggs into one basket itself. So I think the key right here is really about diversification in terms of asset allocation, whether you want to put more into equities, you want to put more into ETFs, crypto, forex, and all that. It's really dependent on your client's risk appetite itself. So I think for us, Penguin, we do also practice diversification in terms of what we recommend to clients or what client wants in terms of their own investments. So I think it's important to use the appropriate brokerages or whichever platform there are out there in the market to make your own investment decision. Yep.
Maybe you can open the questions to the floor as well.
Yeah, so happy to take any questions regarding what we just shared.
No questions. Okay lah. If no questions, then I think we can.
Okay. Yeah, so me and Edmund will be down at the stage. So if you have any interesting things you want to talk about or you're too shy to share, to ask below, I think we'll be at the side of the stage. So yeah, just feel free to look for us and we'll be happy to share more with you guys. All right?
Maybe if you don't want to speak, you can also email us. Yeah.
Yeah, email will do as well. All right, thank you guys. Thank you very
thank you so
much for
much.
having